Yeah, yeah, TC3, we in the trenches.
Trench Talk Live, we keep it real. Breaking down the game, giving out the deal. NCAA, we talking skills. From the grind to the shine, we getting thrills.
Let's go.
Lights on, mic check, time to go live. Game talk, real talk, straight from the grind. Recruitment, NIL, we cover it all. From the field to the books, we never gon' stall.
Nah.
Trench Talk Live, we keep it real. Breaking down the game, giving out the deal. NCAA, we talking skills. From the grind to the shine, we getting thrills.
Let's go. Yeah, we talking facts. TC3, run it back.
What's up, everybody? Oh, where's my background? What's going on, man? What happened to my background? Oh, well, we'll make it work. Another episode, another week of Trench Talk Live. I am your host, Takoby Cofield. Again, this is Trench Talk Live, where the podcast, we don't just talk football, we build football minds. We are talking with our former first round pick in the CFL Draft this evening, Mr. Josiah St, a friend of mine, a former teammate of mine, a brother of mine, man. Just to give y'all a little background about Joe. Again, y'all, again, another one of my Saskatchewan Rough Rider, again, brothers, fellow old lineman, guy that I spent a ton of time with. Like I said, he's a former first-round pick of the Saskatchewan Rough Riders in 2016. He's a graduate of Oklahoma University. Hailing from the six itself, man, the mean streets of Toronto. I found another Toronto guy, another Ontario guy to bring up here, y'all. Again, I am partial to my guys from Canada, man, because they are brothers to me. I went to battle with this guy, man. So without further ado, that was my Uncle Shay intro, Joe. Without further ado, I'd like to bring on and welcome y'all, Mr. Josiah St. John, man. Joe, appreciate you having on, bro.
How's it going, man? It's been a while, man.
Been a good little minute, man. Good to see you, bro. Good to see you.
Hair short now, fade too.
Yeah, man, I cut it down, bro. You see, I cut all the hair off. Shoot. Trying to think, last time I saw you, man, I had locks. I think my hair was down here, man.
Yeah. That's the first time I've seen with the short hair, man.
And I'm an old man. I got 2 kids now, man. So
me too. I got 2 kids too. So it's a lot of things change, man.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like, time be flying, man. We look up 1 minute, everything is, again, we young, running around, young in the CFL, having fun. Next thing you know, people get married, having kids, life moving, man. So, yeah, bro, let's. I mean, again, that's what we here for. That type of time, man. So let's get into it, bro. What's this? Again, you Mr. Former first overall. You know, I like to give my dog. I like to give my dog a hard time, man. You know, when you got that kind of I'll say prestige to you, man, and you know, being a guy that came out of Toronto and went through the, again, JUCO circuit. You know, I had Phil up here last week, so you know, I felt like it was great to kind of have him and then have you kind of piggyback it again for. It's a lot of people, a lot of guys in the States that play this game, and you know what I'm saying, they don't really realize the grind that y'all have to go through just to 100% get exposure and get the chance to get on the field and even get the same opportunity, just because the resources and the coaching is the same. So I thought it was a good time, you know what I'm saying, to bring y'all on, kind of debut the greats that the CFL, the greats that Toronto has to show off, man. So
Phil paved the way for sure. Actually, funny story about Phil. I remember going on my official visit to Baylor, and this is when he had just left. We were like, "Oh, like I was talking, someone was like, you sound like Phil." I'm like, "Phil? Like, yeah, Phil. He's from Canada too." And they're going on about, he's like, every Canadian that came here got drafted, it did like you might have to come to Baylor. So I remember having that on my Baylor. That's my first time I heard of Phil, and I did some more research and seeing what he kind of did. paving the way as Canadians going Division One. Because when we first came out, it wasn't necessarily something that was very common. Now it's like Canadians are going Division One every single year. When we first came, there was really no pathway. This is before the prep movement. This is before the JUCO movement. We were just trying to figure it out at that point. So,
yeah, nah, man, and that's definitely what took place, man. Because, like I like to say it, y'all definitely paved the way, man. Like y'all paved the way. You know, we got old man Phil, Father Time. You know, he timeless. That man just retired after
crazy.
12 years in, bro. Like we were sitting there talking, and I'm sitting as he's talking, I'm like, dog, you just were playing last year. Like I'm in a box and I'm watching you run around on the field, and I'm sitting there thinking, like, man, I used to play right beside that guy, man.
It's crazy.
It's wild what time will do to you, man. So
hey, hats off to him, man. Because even now, I'm 32, turning 33 later on this month, and I'm like, man, I don't think I can do it anymore. So him at 38, 39 running out there,
dog,
that's off to him right there, man.
Bandit, man. He is built different, bro.
Cut different for sure.
Different. So let's get into it, man. So tell us about your journey, man. Again, start us out as young as you want to. You know, what made football, what made it work? Because I tell a lot of people, man, it's hockey first up there. Like it's hockey first. So if you meet a guy that's a football guy, let alone a football guy that played in the States, you wired a little different, you operate a little different. So yeah, man, let's talk about the journey. How'd you get going? What made you get going? All that good stuff.
Yeah. So actually, funny thing about my football stories, I never played until I got to high school. It was never really football. Both my parents immigrated from the Caribbean. My dad coming from Dominica, my mom coming from Jamaica. So coming there, everything was really soccer, track and field. That was kind of their forte, what they understood about sports. My dad used to tell us a story when he moved to Canada and everybody was talking about the Super Bowl. He never really knew what that meant. And he sat down and watched it. When he sat down and watched it, he's like, okay, like I think I decently like football. He started following us there. But how I got introduced to football was really my dad watching on Sundays. And I remember as a kid, I used to hate watching. We'll come home from church, sit on the couch. My dad would be watching football the whole entire afternoon. And I'm like, man, I don't want to watch this. I remember watching a game, like I got into the game a little bit. I'm like, okay, I like this. And I started picking a favorite team and a favorite player. And then next thing you know, I'm a fanatic. I'm watching football all the time, begging my dad to allow me to play football. But I was never really allowed to play until I got to high school because my parents are ministers. So Sunday, when they used to play Warner and Pee Wee, my dad was like, well, we're not missing church to go play. So playing. All right. So I didn't get a chance to play football for the first time until I was in the 9th grade. And I was more so basketball, soccer, track. That's kind of what my forte was. My older brother had gone to our high school first that he played, and he was a really good, one of the best linemen in our area. So when I got there, they're like, "You're Joel's brother?" I'm like, yeah, we'll see you next week for football practice. You don't have a choice. You're playing. So that's kind of how I got pulled into it. And then you've kind of fast forward a couple of years into my senior year. It wasn't until my senior year I would say I fell in love with football. Like I liked it, but it wasn't really something I envisioned myself doing until probably my senior year. I remember after my last game of high school, kind of walking off the field and being like, I don't think this is it for me. This can't be my last football memory. We had lost to our rival semifinals and playoffs. I remember like our coach being like, hey, hand your equipment back in tomorrow. Like, you know what, the season's done. And that was my last go around. And I remember being like, man, I think I want to play at the next level. At that point, I didn't really know what that looked like. No one really had any education for us based on this is what it looks like if you want to go play football at the next level. Or this is how you kind of set up your recruiting. So me in high school, I never went to any football camps, never went to any football training or anything like that. And I was just basically as raw can be.
Yeah.
I remember talking to somebody and they mentioned junior college. Like, oh, like you should try to go to junior college. Because I'm like, okay, well, how do you get involved with junior college? He gave me some information. I went home, I Googled it, and I found this website. And that website had every single junior college in the United States and their contact info. So what I did is I sent my high school tape that was garbage. When I looked, I'm like, oh my goodness. I was like, you could barely see. Because remember, when I was in high school, this is before the like we didn't have anybody recording our games. I think I had somebody, my cousin had came and recorded it on his little camcorder a couple of times. So I only had really like 2 or 3 games, maybe 4 or 5 games that were ever recorded from high school. And I had to build my tape based on that, right? And I remember taking that, piecing together like 4 minutes of film and literally sending it to every single junior college in the United States, every single one. And it's like hoping for the best. I think I heard back from 3. The first one messaged me back saying I wasn't good enough to play there and why did I waste their time? And for me, it's just like, man, like you could have just ignored the message.
You could have just left it.
You could have just ignored
We all red for that point. Like,
he's like, they're like, yeah, you're not gonna play here. Why'd you even, So I was like, okay, that's how we doing it. Okay. And I had another school in California called Fresno City College, and they are non-scholarship. And at this time, like me paying to go to school in California, that was like mind blowing. That's too much cash. And another place was called ASA in New York.
Yeah.
ASA, they said they like my size. They haven't really recruited from Canada anymore, but they think they have a spot for me. And I remember I was excited, all gung ho. I'm going to New York. I'm practicing my New York accent. And you feel me? I'm listening to G Unit. I'm there. Like I'm doing everything. Man. I'm there. And like a couple of weeks before I was supposed to go, they're like, sorry to do this last minute, but we decided to give a spot to somebody who is more local. We just understand recruiting that area a little bit better. We can't really evaluate the talent you played against. So I remember being crushed. I was like, man, like my dream of going and playing college football in the States is pretty much over at this point. I remember being so distraught. My mom coming and talking to me and saying, Joe, you just gotta have a little faith. We'll figure something out. And in my mind, is the only option is a school in California. I know we don't have money for me to go. So like, in my mind is like, it's over. But I remember my mom talking to my grandma, and my grandma actually decided to pull money out of her retirement and give me the money to go to school for my first year. Yeah, this is crazy. And the thing with my grandma wasn't a big sports person. I don't think I've ever heard her talk about sports, or she never seen me play football ever. She never came to my games ever. She came to one game actually when I was in college at West Virginia. But at that time when she gave me the money, she thought I played baseball. She's like, oh yeah, you're gonna go to school and play baseball. Didn't know I played football in the slightest, but she saw how passionate I was about my dream to play college football at the next level, and blindly gave me the opportunity to go. Right, so shout out to grandma for that. Having people who believe in you is always a big thing. So that's amazing. That decision she made changed my life forever. Right, I wouldn't be having this conversation with you if she didn't do that. So
without a doubt, Philly,
yeah.
Man, Philly.
So,
oh man, shout out.
Yeah. Funny. So literally how it kind of went is I never got a chance to visit a school. Never been to California before, and then nothing. I remember packing my bags, my mom kind of putting my stuff together and being like, hey, like best of luck to you. Like, I don't know what I'm walking into, but I knew when I got out there, I had a commitment to make it work no matter what, man. I'm like, my grandma done pulled money out of retirement to give me, like, I can't, it's not an option for me to fail and go back home, bro. So I remember kind of going down there with a level of focus where I was like, you know what? I'm going to bust my butt, figure everything out, and make sure I see this through all the way. So I remember going to California for the first time, going through training camp. At this time, I'm the second string right tackle. I remember who we playing that first game? I can't remember who it was. They were actually a decently good team. And I will never forget this. The quarterback drops back. He throws a pass. It's picked off. Our left tackle ran to go make a tackle, and he gets absolutely blindsided. When I say helmet this way, feet in the air, destroyed. And they basically like, yeah, he's done for the game. And I'm like, oh, that's crazy. I wonder who's going to go in. So with me, the backup right tackle, and then the backup left tackle, we're kind of like, I was standing around, he was kind of warming up. And my coach, O-line coach, Cole Popovich, he actually was, I think he's the O-line coach for the Houston Texans now. Yeah, he looked at me and he's like, Joe, you're in. And I'm like, I've been taking a single rep at the left side. He's like, yeah, you're in. Like, I believe in you, you're going in. I'm the left tackle cussing, like, this is BS. Like, I take all those reps and things, blah, blah, blah. And then they started arguing back and forth. He's like, no, he came here every single day, busted his butt. I'm putting him out there. And he looked at me, dabbed my hand. He's like, you're going in. You're going in. Like, So I'm like, bro, okay. Grandma done sacrifice for me. My coach went on the limb for me. I can't fail right now, man. So I remember going out there and having a really good game at left tackle. And me, I'm moving my feet. I'm like, bro, let's keep them feet moving and you're going to be fine, man. That's the best part of my game. I'm not the biggest dude, strongest dude. The feet going to move. So
Gotta dance. Gotta dance.
Drag it. I'm like, I remember, I think after the game, I'm like, if this is what this league is, I'm going to dominate this league, bro. Like, I felt very comfortable out there. Haven't really played a lot of high-level talent, I would say, coming from Canada.
Right.
It was mostly just like push the guy in front of you. It wasn't necessarily anything that was like blocking schemes or really anything that was intricate. So that was a big thing I had to learn my first couple of years. Is it's like running power, like one of my mentality, running power, how we do all these different things. And we ran power a lot. And like the first time I ever ran power was when I got to that school. So how it kind of ended was I kept my spot at left tackle the whole entire year. I was able to start, and I did pretty well the rest of the year. And I remember after the season was done, sending my JUCO tape to a bunch of Division I schools. I'm like, it worked for me last time to get JUCO. I'll just do it again and see what happens.
Hey, bro, go fix it. Like, not
I
again.
remember my head coach was like, "Why you sending your tape out? Why you sending your tape out?" I'm like, I'm just trying to get noticed at this point, man. Like I came all the way out here. I want to get noticed to see, I don't want to wait till my last year of JUCO to really get any type of movement. So I remember walking on campus and I see a random call from a California number. I answer it. And like, hey, this is Cal Berkeley. We saw your tape. We think you're a fantastic football player. Just want to let you know, like, we want to offer you a full scholarship when you come. Like, if you want to come here next year, come here next year. I remember hanging up the phone and looking at my friend. I'm like, bro, literally a year ago, I was begging people to take me. And now I got my first scholarship offer to University of Cal. Right?
Grandma, man, shout out to grandma.
I was like, this is crazy, man. I'm like, this is insane. I couldn't even believe it. I remember like so many times just sitting down and just being like, bro, like this risk I took is working out now. So like it's working out for me. So I was extremely happy and blessed about that. And as time progressed, I get more and more calls. And once you get that first offer, people in the conference, they start to offer you. And then I think I got my first offer from, I think it was either Arkansas or Ole Miss. So when I got that offer, they started rolling after that, right? And then we had our spring ball practice. And I remember we're doing drills. And there was like, when I say 20, 25 Division I coaches out there watching spring ball. And like as we would move on the field, they would all move on the field where I was at. I'm like, this is crazy. Like, I just remember like being such a surreal thing. Like, I can't believe that I'm here doing these drills and I have an opportunity to go play Division football. So I fast forward another year. I end up transferring to another JUCO called Trinity Valley in Athens, Texas. This one's a full scholarship, so at least I didn't have to pay. I remember someone called my dad and it's like, hey, we'll give him a full ride if he wants to go. And my dad called me. He's like, you're leaving, pack your stuff. Like, we're not paying another year. We're not paying another year for school. You just go and get out of there. Like, it's okay. So I ended up moving to Texas, to a small town in Texas called Athens. I went to Trinity Valley for that year. And then from there, played another year, and then I signed to University of Oklahoma. And then the rest is history, man. The rest is history.
Man, like, and it's wild. It's funny because it's funny first because you talk about it as if it was like you were. Look, remember, we like right there, like the separation of time. So look, I remember having to go in there with my little DVD player, little VHS tape, and you trying to make tape, get it on the DVD. You feel like it's so big when you got a DVD to send out.
Oh my goodness!
You get the DVDs out, you be like, oh, they can get it this quick. But man, it's wild how during that era it was like you had no choice but to do everything you possibly could to fight just to get an eye on you, just for somebody to see you, just to give you an answer. Like, you don't know, you living every day, you playing, and it's like, man, I just want somebody to tell me whether this is in vain or whether I should just keep going. Like, just give me a direction, because every day it's a fork in the road, man. And it's wild. Like I said, man, shout out to grandma, because definitely, and I tell a lot of the kids that I train and I coach, man, like this game can change your whole life. It can change the complexion of your whole family. And you can look up and you can literally see one day how it can benefit you in a lot of different ways. Just like the perseverance you're talking about, man, which is crazy. You know what I'm saying? Just sitting there throwing out your tape, scattering it as wide as you can, and you got 3 hits back, but those 3 were everything. Like that was everything that gave you options, that gave you the chance. And it was like, look, I just need one person to say yes. Like if one person gives me a yes, I'm a move on this, man. So that's big. That's definitely huge. So let's talk about Oklahoma, man. Let's talk about your time in man. So you now again, as our candid conversations have taken place, you know, me and you have talked. You played against some dudes at you played on a team besides some dudes.
Yeah, that was a couple of good years we had there.
Played against dudes too, man. So for those people that don't know, man, tell what was your time like? And before I even get ahead of myself, you coming from JUCO and transitioning into Oklahoma, transitioning into a different culture, Division I. Again, you leaving Texas, going into another state, Oklahoma. You know, you going from Cali to Texas to Oklahoma. And you know your background is Caribbean. You coming from Canada. What was that transition like, leaving JUCO in Texas and going into Oklahoma, trying to get into, you know, get used to that, the Big 12, and you at the top tier of the Big 12 at that time, Oklahoma, man.
The biggest thing I would say was the structure and expectations, right? Like I remember taking my official visit, and my official visit to Oklahoma was probably the worst visit I had. It's funny that people tell me that, but somebody gave me the best advice that caused me to go to OU. I remember they were playing on my visit Notre Dame. This is the year that Manti Te'o, those guys went to the national championship. And they came to Norman and beat them. So one thing about Norman is if we lose a game, this city is quiet. Everybody's at home. Everybody's pissed off. There's no going having fun. There's no going out. The campus corner is dead. So I remember after the game, all the players on the team were like, "Bro, we just want to go home. Like we don't want to even be out right now." And I remember like, okay, this sucks. I just had my visit to Texas Tech maybe a couple of weeks prior to that, and Texas Tech was lively. So I remember kind of coming back from my visit being like, but I had this running back, and he told me something. He's like, the place you went to go eat, that steakhouse they gave you, you can't afford to eat there anymore. That hotel you stayed in, you're never going to stay there again, right? Understand what is real, right? You're going to understand your teammates, the academic center, the strength and conditioning coach, and your positional coach. They're going to be the people you interact with the absolute most. All this other stuff they try to give you on your visit and all, like, you're never going to experience any of that stuff all over again. So when he told me that, I was breaking down. I'm like, okay, what do I want to get out of football? What do I want to get out of this place or my college experience? And I think it kind of led me back to Norman. It was just like, hey, it's a place where we know there's a winning mentality. There's a tradition there. I'm going to be pushed. I'm going to be around a lot of good players, right? And not necessarily have to and be kind of in that environment that is like engaging. They've put a lot of tackles in the pros. That's what they do. Tackles are like their thing over there. Tackles and quarterbacks. That's what we do, man.
Definitely. That's a definite, man.
That was pretty much the biggest thing what caused me to go there. I think the biggest adjustment was, like I said, the structure. It's like you're in JUCO and you're the big fish. It's not necessarily like going to a Division I school. And like my first year there, I'm in the 545 workout group, right? They're structured in the weight room now. And at OU, you're gonna live. Coach Smitty, you're gonna work out. Like that's one thing I will say, you're gonna live. So going from that, not really ever training, I never really lifted weights that much. I was a decently strong kid just naturally. I would go work out here and there, but I've never been in a program for 8 weeks, and we're running, and we're lifting, and we're doing all those different things. So that was a huge adjustment for me. I remember the first couple of weeks of doing workouts, man, I'm dying. My shirt is drenched. And I'm like, man, this is a lot, right? But then you stick with it, and you notice yourself getting bigger. You notice yourself getting stronger. You're getting in better shape. You're learning to kind of adapt to what's going on a little bit better, and it starts to progress. You're like, okay, well, I see the method to the madness now. I can see where I'm going to develop and where it's going to do the best for me. But that was probably the biggest adjustment, man. Like the structure of it. And I remember our second year at OU, we went 8-5, and the whole half the staff got fired. Right? It's like there's no like you be better when you better be Big 12 champs or competing to be Big 12 champs at the top of the league. Like that's kind of the expectation there, right? Or we're competing for a national championship. And that was a place that I think that's probably one of the very first places I've ever been in my life where when we said we're going to win a national championship or win the championship at the highest level possible, we all believed it. It was expectation. It wasn't like you're at some of my JUCO. My first JUCO was pretty good. My second JUCO wasn't that great. And we're like, oh yeah, we're gonna go to the national championship. It's like, oh, probably not. We don't have the talent. We don't have the side. Like there's holes that we clearly have.
Yeah.
But at OU is kind of like, yeah, it's national championship or bust, right? But when I look at my OC, my second year, I'm getting fired. But like Coach Heupel, he's the head coach of Tennessee now, right? There's just high level coaches at every level, and when they leave, they usually go on to do pretty good things and pretty big things, right? So, yeah,
definitely, man. Look. You know, I'm partial to OU, man. I got coached up by an OU vet, OU Hall of Famer in Trent, man. So, definitely, man. I'm looking at this tape right now, and like some of these cats that's on this tape right now, it's like this is littered throughout the NFL. I'm talking Baker Mayfield, Orlando Brown, like you out there with dudes, bro.
Yeah,
like
this is a good team. This is a really good team. And this is 2015, 2016. This is the first year Baker transferred them tech. He transferred the year before, but this is before the transfer portal where when you transfer, you got to sit out a year.
Yep.
Now you can go into any school you want to. When we were in there, you got to sit out a year, right? So he transferred the year before and sat out, and then he played this year. Orlando was a redshirt freshman. Who do we have on the team? We had Samaje Perine, Joe Mixon, Mark Andrews, D.D. Westbrook. He ended up winning the Biletnikoff, I think, the year after that. Sterling Shepard.
Yeah.
This is offense, right? This is a pretty young team. And that core, this is my senior year, that core for the next 2 to 3 seasons ended up doing some pretty big things in terms of college football, right? Baker winning the Heisman, Biletnikoff and D.D., and these guys going to the playoffs. We went to the playoffs this year. We lost to Clemson. But they ended up winning the playoffs. I think another time was Georgia, maybe 2 times. Well, no, the other times with Kyler. So this is a pretty good core, man. They did some pretty big things. So
that's what I mean, man. Like the names, the guys you around, the work that you putting in, and the work that's being put in around you as well by these caliber of players.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy. Like I said, like Orlando, like you said, O is a redshirt freshman, and I'm looking at him and I'm going, man, O is the same size he is right now. Like the movement patterns are better. Like he can move way better now. And you see him playing with a different level of confidence. But like, man, he the same size. Like this is crazy. And dog, you talk about the characters, because again, I had the opportunity to play beside Neela for a little while when I was in Washington. So, and like we talk about the big names, but like it's guys like him that were out there that it's like, man, the characters that were in y'all locker room, the amount of guys that were on y'all team, like even Baker himself is his own character. Like he's his own type of guy, man. So definitely like so much respect to you, you know what I'm saying, you all there, and the amount, and the amount that y'all did as a team, individually and as a, like I said, as a team. But which I feel like this probably set the stage perfect to a degree for your CFL experience, man. You went first overall, but we both know where we played. We know, and this level, the level of expectation that you were talking about, got to Saskatchewan, and even you being the first round pick, going to Saskatchewan, did you feel that same level of expectation or more, just playing for that organization and being the first overall pick, and just with the history of organization and how they treat players and the team? Because to me, when I was there, it felt like I was playing in it felt like I was playing in the Oakland Raiders of the CFL. Like the city would literally turn on us almost if we lost too many or we was against the wrong team. It was like the city would almost act like we didn't exist. But we were winning, man. You couldn't paint a better picture or a better organization. So like what do you feel like, you know what I'm saying, your senior year and what y'all had going on and this core players, do you feel like that really set y'all up for success? You set you up for success and, you know what I'm saying, walking into a pro locker room?
Yeah, I think it did. I think what it did is obviously we had a lot of guys on that team went on to play in the pros. We had a lot of coaches who either have pro experience or have coached a lot of guys to go to the pros. So it was almost like how OU runs their program is like preparing you for that level of success in the future, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the second aspect is, like we said, expectations, right? Like at Oklahoma, we don't come in fourth or fifth. The expectation is that you win, and if you don't, there will be changes. Like there will be changes. Like they're not accepting anything less than competing or winning national championships. So kind of having that level of pressure all the time kind of prepared me for the Riders. Obviously, the whole entire province, the Riders are pretty much the only thing they have, right? So they want to see Grey Cups, they want to see championships, they want to see big time players. They don't want to see us lose a game. If you lose a game, you think the world is ending, right? And like I said, you wake up the next morning, the sun still comes up. You still got to get up and go to the facility, watch that tape, and then hop in the cold tub, and we figure it out from there. And the second year that you got there, at least like we were better. My first year, we only won like 2 or 3 games the whole entire year, and you heard the fan base just going crazy pretty much the whole entire time. But we ended up doing pretty good that second year, and then in the third year behind Jones. I think in 2019, I hurt my Achilles that year, but you guys were on the doorsteps again of going to a Grey Cup. So it's a place you play. There's expectation that you do well, there's expectation that you win, there's expectation that the team is competing. They don't want to see collapses at the end of the year. They want to see collapses in the middle of the year. They want to see Grey Cup. I think if you ask a Rider fan, they want us to go 18-0, blow everybody out, and go to the Grey Cup and beat them by 50.
It's like the expectation is like everybody else should be the worst team in the league. Nobody else should have better players, better coaches. Like it's like the Dallas Cowboy mentality of the NFL. And what I tell everybody is, well, first off, like as crazy as the expectation is as much fun as you end up having.
Yeah.
Just because
it was fun, yeah.
And you even went to Edmonton and like you were in Toronto for a little bit. And when you first go back to Mosaic and you don't have on that green and white, it's like, oh.
Yeah. You see it a little bit.
Yo, this is different. Like, this is what everybody else was having to fight against. Like, not only are they playing us, they playing against this. Like, this noise, this craziness. Like, you get in the city. It was wild this past year. You know, I was in Edmonton, man, and played there. And I remember getting off the bus and going. We were about to go in the hotel. Was it Hotel Saskatchewan? And that's where we ended up staying at.
Yeah.
And before we got off the bus, I turned around and I looked at the guys. I said, I want y'all, everybody, because I think I was on the last bus. So I was on the young guy bus. I was like, everybody that has never played here before, never been to this city, I want you to raise your hand. And it was probably 90% of the bus. I said, fellas, don't leave your playbooks. Don't leave a script. Don't leave notes. Leave nothing in the trash cans. Don't leave it anywhere. I said, y'all don't understand. The people working at this hotel will take pictures of it and send it to the coaches. They will hand your stuff to the coaches. 100%. They think it'll help us, like help them win. And they were like, what? I said, y'all, for those of y'all that play big SEC, Big 12, big time ball, this the same mentality. Like it's the same craziness. So don't go out there. Be careful even where you go out at, because if they know you with the other team, they might treat you a little weird. You might get some weird service. And guys came back and it was like, coach, like they barely would talk to us. And I was like, yeah, you know, for the Riders, like welcome to Regina, like welcome to Saskatchewan. It's a different mentality, man. But like you said, 18 was fun, man. When I first got there, I didn't even really know what to expect, man. Y'all had that thing moving already. It's funny now that I don't work with Soros. You know what I'm saying? I done coached with him. I realized how young he was back then when
He
I
was
first.
super young, but like it's funny.
It's
Like
wild. Like it's wild to think, like, man, Soros. Like I even looked at him while we were working together. I was like, Soros, man, I ain't realized you was real wet behind the ears when we was in. He was like, yeah, like, but he did admit. He said, I learned so much with y'all, even mistake wise. Like y'all taught me stuff that I didn't even think about. And I was like, man, I probably should do that differently or say that differently. Or like stuff would happen. And he was like, so like now me and him working together, and we were working together, it was like I would remember stuff that happened and bring it up from like 18, 19. And he's like, oh yeah, let's do that. And I'm like, dang, bro, like, and it don't seem like it was that long ago, but nice little.
I feel like we all grew together. I think that was the coolest thing about, because we had a decent mix of like veteran guys and then guys younger, like me, you, Vaughn, guys who have been in the league like 2-3 years. Guys like Thad, Clark, and LeBlanc who've been in there like 40. You know, like they've been. So we had a good mix of people, like Bodek too. Like we had a good young group with some vets, and it was a weird thing. We meshed pretty well, man. We were cool, close, and it seemed like we always figured something out, right? Like whether we were in bad situations, we were playing well, playing bad. It always seemed that we found a way to figure it out, man. And Soros being a young coach, I feel like he grew with us in that instance. So I look at Soros from his first year to even my last year with Edmonton. Growth, like, because you know Soros takes football seriously, man. Like that's all he do is football and golf, man. So,
yeah, man, because that's my dog. He get emotional, man. He get emotional real fast, and he get real touchy, especially with that run game. So if it's going right, you about to walk in there every day. He gonna be down in the dumps. He gonna be like, as a player, you gonna be almost grabbing him, like trying to, like, hey man, like, look, we got to go out there and do it, man. Like, come on, like, stop feeling it, stop being in your feelings. But it was like you said, like I felt like we really grew as a group, and I think us having a mix of the old and the young together is really what helped, because you got Thad to know the playbook so well. Like Thad making calls from like 1968. And Soros and Max standing there like, yeah, I mean, technically he not wrong.
He always had these random things he'll call that, like in the back of the playbook type stuff. We're like, who even told you this? Like,
that situation happened one time. That's why that's in there. But you saw it, and you'd have been playing for 65 years, so of course you remembered it. And then you got Dan like, yeah, that's the right word. And then you got Labatt who. Man, Blue just gonna keep doing the same thing. Same guy. You got Dan trying to headbutt everything to move. And like you said, you got Thad over there at the end of the career now. He tiptoeing, knees bad, and but we had a good young fusion to kind of come in, and I think that actually helped the older guys stay young to a certain degree. Because we could have been one of them older groups that, like, you kind of just saw us ride off into the sunset with guys' careers as they get older. But I felt like as the youth in the group at the time with us, we made sure to really, come out there, bring the energy, bring the love of the game every day, and it kept the older cats young, man. And it's something that I actually always wanted to ask you about. And it's when you were in the process of being picked, when like you were going through that draft process, figuring that whole thing out, what was that like for you, like mentally? You know what I'm saying? Just with your journey all the way up until that point, mentally, what what was the toughest part, and what was, more so one of those things that you were like, oh yeah, it's I got this in the bag, and then you had to kind of figure out like, I thought it would go that way, and it didn't.
Yeah, my whole draft process was pretty weird. Like it was super strange. I remember early on the process, I was talked about being a first round pick, and then as certain guys in the draft class, I would say had more like opportunity NFL wise, I started going more and more and more up the draft board to the point where my agent told me maybe 2 or 3 weeks before the draft, is you're going first overall, so I didn't take you. So I remember hearing that and being like, okay, well, I know I'm going first overall. And I remember literally the week of the draft, my agent calls me like, oh, SAS wants to fly you out, show you around the city and do different things like that. I'm like, okay, it's pretty cool. They're going to fly me out. That's cool. And I got an email from SAS being like, hey, we're having a workout. Like, bring your cleats, bring some water, this, or like that. I'm like, a workout? Because the draft is this week. What do you? I remember talking to my agent. He's like, nah, you're not working out. Like, you're just going there to hang out. You're not working out. So I said, okay. And then they sent me another message basically like reminding me to bring my cleats. I'm like, bro, I'm working out. So I bring my cleats. I put them in my bag. I remember getting picked up from the airport. They dropped me off at the hotel. And we got there like 11 o'clock at night. They're like, yeah, we'll come back and get you at 6 o'clock in the morning. Just be down here in the lobby. So I said, okay. I remember taking my, getting them picked up, going to the stadium, and there was like 15 dudes there in the draft class. What is going on right now?
Joe, that's what's going on. Joe,
3 old linemen, a bunch of receivers, I was like, bro, this is like a mini combine, bro.
Joe.
Drills, we doing a bunch of stuff. I'm dead tired because in my mind, I was not expecting this at all. I thought I was coming in here to shake some hands, kiss some babies, and go home. So I remember going to the drills. I had a really good session with the bags and stuff like that. And I remember talking to a bunch of the coaches and even the players that were on the team already saying, like, yeah, we were really impressed with how you moved and stuff like that. So the next day they flew me home and I landed back in Oklahoma. Literally, as I was stepping in the car, I got a message saying congrats on being drafted to the Riders. So I never had a draft part or anything. By the time I got back and I sat in my car, my friend's car to drive back to Norman, I got picked. And I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm going to the Riders then. So that was like my draft experience, which was very strange. I was like, okay, well, it was almost like I wish I would have had a party. I wish it would have been my family. But it's just like I went there to thought I was meeting a bunch of people on the team. It was really a workout. I was like, okay, well, maybe they weren't sure they're going to pick me until that time. So it was strange. It was like weird. It's like my coach, my agent's like, yo, you going first overall? Like, he had everything planned. And it was like the last moment was like, okay, maybe I'm not. Like, maybe I'm not going first overall. So picking me, taking me, and then coming out here. But I mean, the whole holdout thing, which was a big deal. I didn't show up to camp. Well, I didn't show up to camp at all. I came week 1. But you know me and you know my temperament. I was uncomfortable with the whole entire thing.
I was about to say, so it's crazy. So if nobody knows, like Joe had a whole holdout. Like you got drafted first overall, but you held out, like you said, through training camp until week 1. So
yeah,
it kind of and again going back, Rider Nation, their expectations, and I'll put a slight pause here for a second. You're going to have your thoughts. I know when I say this name, but Jones, you'll have thoughts. You have your interactions. I have my thoughts. I have my interactions. I played for and I coached for. Did both, and it's not a lot of people that can say that. Shives is another person that can say he's
done one. Maybe BI too.
I would say BI. It's not a lot of us. What I can say is, as crazy as the man is as genius as he is, like you see both of them kind of play out. And sometimes as a player, like you're sitting there and you're just like you said, like, yo, this is straight craziness. Like it's a full-blown workout that we could have drafted. Like, what are y'all?
I've been around Jones enough. I'm a Jones guy. I think really highly of Jones. I think he's a good dude. I've had nothing but good interaction with him for the most part. And I've seen him work enough to be like, there usually is a method to his madness. It seems crazy from the outside, but the man, he's a mad genius. There is a method to his madness sometimes, man. So I think the whole crazy thing, and this is what was told to me by my agent. I ended up firing him later on, but he told me that they negotiated everything. They had everything pinned down from the years, the signing bonus, everything kind of matching up what the person got from the year before. So I thought, okay, it's a done deal. I'm about to get a contract. He told me that after they drafted me, they called and said basically like, we feel like the first overalls are making too much money. We want to recorrect the market. So we're gonna pay you like $80,000 less than the year before. And my agent's like, you're absolutely not taking $80,000 less. And to be honest with you, there's a couple of times in that process where I was just like, bro, let's just sign a contract. Like, I just want to go to camp. I want to play ball. And he told me something. He's like, if you take less now, you will always take less. You cannot take less now. And
it's true. And
I ended up still taking less because I had to just at the end I had to pull the plug because Jones was not. He wasn't backing down. My agent was backing down. It was just like, bro, now it's getting weird and awkward for me. Everybody's like, yo, you at camp? What's going on? Why don't you go in there? What's going on? Da, 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 da. And I'm not really too involved with the process, but this is what was told to me. So I feel like nobody ever let me forget it. Till this day, people are like, okay, you held up, didn't you? Like, that's one of the big conversations I had. I was like, man, yeah, I did.
It's crazy because I actually didn't hear about it until probably the first week of the season. Like, once we kind of got into the season, that's what somebody told me about it. It was like,
yeah,
Joe held out when he first signed. I was like, wait, like it was like it was a whole big dispute over it. Like, there was a whole issue over it. And I was like, wait, what? Like, y'all don't do it the same way the NFL do, where it's like, I was like, nah, like it's all figured out. Like they negotiated, and it's crazy to think. But even now, like if you could go back, I almost would have looked at him and been like, listen, I done betted on myself. I done put my tape out. I done went through JUCO. I done all of this to get here. I'm kicking doors down for every single offensive lineman kid that wants to try and make it out of this country. If I take less now, I'm telling every kid behind me to take less just to get an opportunity. And that's setting the stage for everything to kind of take a step down instead of continuing to elevate and improve and get better. I mean, like you said, at the end of the day, it is what it is. You gotta take
you all laugh about it now. I remember like I was public enemy number one for a while. They're like, this dude is selfish. He's holding out. He's letting his team down. I'm like, I remember, and to be honest with you, if I didn't pull the plug, I had to basically call my agent and be like, bro, like, get this figured out. Like, I would still be holding out to this day if I didn't probably do that because Jones wasn't blinking. He wasn't blinking. I'd have taken less. Right.
You know Jones don't care. Jones will sit right there. Jones stubborn. He'll sit there and fight you all day. Even if he know he wrong, he gonna sit right there and be like, nope, I ain't moving.
100%. He's like, yeah, we ain't doing it. But I'm glad it got figured out, man. Like, it was just a whole annoying process. But even that, I think that kind of threw off my whole entire rookie year because I got into camp late. And now it's week. I remember I got off the plane the morning of their very first game versus Toronto. So I really didn't practice until week 2, right? So I get into practice now. They throw a whole playbook at me. I'm trying to figure that out. But, like, it's not training camp anymore, right? Now you're trying to go to practice, try to go through that process. And it just threw off my whole rookie year, I feel like. And then going to my second year, at least I was able to do a training camp, right?
Yeah.
So, but even my third year, when you came, I ended up tearing my hamstring again. I got 6 games that whole entire year. So I want to say even in my whole entire CFL career, maybe I've done 1, 2, 3, 4. No, I've done a couple of training camps. The first couple of years, I didn't do much. I holdout first year, did second year. Third year, tore my hamstring.
Yep. Fourth year,
my Achilles.
Yep.
And then I came back and did that COVID one, which was a weird training camp. And then even then my last year in Sask, I ended up tearing my MCL. I missed the first 7 weeks of the season that team too. So
that's crazy. Like you talk about that COVID season, man. That's when and to be honest with you, that's when I jumped out, man. Like,
bro, I was hurt when you did that, bro. To be honest with you, I was excited. I remember when I signed back, I was like, bro, I'm gonna be back with Lon, TC, the gang again. I'm excited about playing ball again. Like, and then I remember talking to you like, I ain't gonna be there. Like, I ain't gonna be there. Like, I was like, what? He's like, bro, I'm good. I'm getting coaching, I got opportunity to coach. Like, you're passionate about that. You're good at it too, bro. Like, I remember even playing with you. You always know you're knowledgeable. And a lot of my game, I actually pulled from your game, which is weird. And you probably don't know that.
I appreciate it, bro. I
pulled from your game.
Look, you got to remember, when you first saw me, bro, I was 256 pounds.
Yeah.
coming off of ACL. I have been working at Dick's Sporting Goods, working at a sales job. Like, I'm going to Planet Fitness, getting my workout in. I'm just trying to gain weight and stay in the game and go and play again off a major injury. So I'm out here doing anything to survive at this point. I'm like, look,
now thinking about it, bro, that was pretty crazy what you did, bro. Like, it's not skim over that. I remember when you first got there, and we saw him like, bro, this guy played tight end, and he played O-line.
Y'all kept saying it. It was like D-line, tight end. Like, what you do? And I'm like,
bro, like, you too light, bro. But like, and even in camp, just when the dust settled and you were the last one of the new tackles standing, bro, it was okay. Well, he's gonna probably give him a year to get his weight back. And who got hurt and he got thrown in there pretty quick.
Man, Vaughn caught pneumonia on the bye week, and he called me. He said, "Hey, fool, I'm sick." I was like, "Hey, man, why you sound like that, man? I'm sick, fool. I ain't gonna be able to practice or play, bro. You gonna have to hold it down." And I'm like, "Man, why Vaughn messing with me, bro?" I'm like, "Vaughn, get off my phone, man." I hang up. Next thing I look at my phone, Chris Jones calling. Hey, what's up? What's up, Jones? Hey, Vaughn's sick. I'm like, he was for real? He was like, yeah, man, like Vaughn's sick, man. You're gonna have to go. Like, so you get back active. And I'm like,
yo,
man, hang up with Jones. Soros called me. I'm like, oh, this is
all those guys do. What is big news like that? Everybody, hey, you go be all right. Like, you go.
I said, be okay, bro. You ready? I'm like, we gonna find out, bro. I've been rocking with y'all for a minute. I ain't played in a little minute, but we gonna find out. And
but you went and did well, bro. You balled out. Ended up playing the rest of the year. Like, bro, I just remember really just going through that whole type process, like that whole entire year. Especially at the end of the year, we had a bunch of injuries, bro. I remember we put together that O-line at the end of the year. Was you, Blake, it was Blue at the center, me at the right guard, and Thad. And we were stepping on stuff at the end of the year, boy. We were there rolling teams up.
Still
beat Calgary.
Yeah. Calgary and mashed them out. Bad.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Everybody, I remember Phil was talking crazy. Everybody's trash talking the whole thing. It was just like, it was a fun game. Probably one of the most fun games I've ever been a part of to this day. We were just like,
still to this day, for those that don't know, man, the longest run in CFL history is held by Marcus Stigpen on outside zone, and me and my dog Joe sealed it up. Off for the home run, man.
You may have told me something right before that play. Can't remember if you did or not.
I did. I looked at you because I was like, hey, he inside. Just go ahead and go. Like, go ahead and go. I got him. Ain't open, go ahead and go. Sure enough, I was like, hey, Joe, go. Like, I don't even need no help. I got this. Go.
I just went up and sealed the backer.
I know.
I'm like, okay.
I was like, hey, just don't get caught, Diggy. Don't get caught. Not trying to run
runs when he's taking off and I'm running behind you. Like, I look back, no flags. I bet now you don't, and Diggy ain't gonna get caught. That's one thing. That boy, he ain't gonna lose a foot race.
No, definitely. Diggy was up out of there. Always up out of there, man. That was. And it's like times like that again, like that fusion of the old and young, where it's like, all right, we beat up, we still trying to make it work, but then you look out there and it's like, you got a young guy, old guy, young guy, old guy. Okay, yeah, we straight, like we all right. And I think that's what helped us too, man. Is we had a room really full of Swiss Army knives for the man. Is Blue was able to play both inside and center and guard, both guards, both tackles. Shoot, we got Phil, and I was like, hey man, it's a cheat code, man. Like, y'all, they traded him. They tripping. The fact that he could even go out there and play tackle if need be. Premium at guard. We got Bladick hurt, but Bladick can even come in and play. And I'm like that's why
that was a good group. And when I look at like, I wish that team, that O-line, that group would have grew together a longer time. I think after that year, I ended up signing and leaving. I tore my Achilles, missed the whole entire year. I think
you went to Toronto, didn't you?
Yeah, tore my Achilles in camp. I remember those guys. You guys played that year, and then you retired after the COVID year. I ended up going to Toronto.
Yep.
Thad ended up retiring. So by the time I got back, it was a different group. It wasn't the same group anymore, right? The only person who was there was Dan. Dan is a stalwart in there. He's always there.
And Vaughn.
And Vaughn.
Still there. And it's wild because we talk about a young Soros, man. We had a young Vaughn too.
Yeah.
We in there trying to keep Vaughn cool, calm, and collected some days because he ready to flip the table off. But I also say this. I think that mentality, honestly, like was in all of us. Like Vaughn just used to just flat out show it, but like we all kind of had that switch that you could just flip sometimes, and like we all just be like, all right, fine. You know what? You're gonna talk about our short yardage package and how we can't move somebody 1 yard. Watch this. We're gonna move them 6. And then you got Sorrel standing there like, go ahead, go do it then. Fine. Like, all right, like, okay, all right, cool. And like I say, man, like it and I always watch the games, always keep up. I mean, I'm always watch Soros, dog. Like Edmonton, I'm gonna watch them. I'm gonna watch them like a hawk this year. I'll be texting back and forth. And it was cool too. I forgot, man, because when you were able to play for J-Jack and MH, and see, I got a chance to work with them. I never played for them, so. And I told them this past year, I was like, man, if y'all would have been in SAS when I first got there too. Speaking of kids, hey baby, how you doing? Okay, I'm glad you good. Being a dad, man, being a dad.
My kids in the back room my wife trying to keep them quiet as we speak, man, because they will be running out here jumping around and they're talking, pulling things down.
Speaking of that, again, another crazy one that again, like saw that before all of that happened. I don't even, bro. You remember we was in Calgary? And you introduced me to your wife. First time I met her. Fast forward, y'all there.
I forgot about that,
Fast forward, y'all get married.
Two kids.
Yeah, and I'm like, yo, who would have thought? Like that her then, and now it's like y'all married, kids. Like, man,
I brought her out here to Saskatchewan. We live in Regina still, so she living out here now. So, yeah, no, it's definitely a crazy, crazy life, man.
Oh, sad.
Time flies, man. Time flies. I do miss that. That was one of my favorite groups to be a part of, on the field and off the field, man.
Definitely, man. We kept something stirred up all the time around that city, man. Never. And then we ain't gonna even talk about the skill guys that we had on that team because they kept stuff stirred up too. And we definitely had a blast, man. Being there, playing there, growing, winning, and like you said, each and every year. It was just crazy to me how every year we get this close to another Grey Cup, and it's like one play. We had the what was it, the goal post with a ball hit, and then the next year, same thing to Swerve wide open in 19, wide open. He throw the ball, Cody throw it, boom, hit the goal post, game over. So it's a wild time, man. But shoot, we coming up on 8, man. We coming up on a quick 8 o'clock, bro. I told you, like, I be doing this, and then I'll look up and I'll be like, hey, bro, we 45 minutes in, like, we getting started for real. And there's being a girl dad is crazy, man. Like,
I got a girl too, man. I'm already knowing.
Having a son, it's like rub some dirt on it, get up. That little girl, the minute she start crying and whimpering, it's like, oh, what's real? Like, what I gotta fix? Like, gotta go do something, man. But I definitely appreciate you always, man, coming through, pulling up, hanging out, chit chatting, brother. You know, always much love and respect for you, man. Big time things you've done, bro. And again, we hit your career, man. Different movements, and again, you knocking down doors, paving ways for the next group, man. So always much respect to you. Anything you got going on, man? Currently, you want to plug anything you doing? Anything, man. Floor is yours. Anything you doing right now that you want to plug in? You want to tell the folks about, man? Have at it.
Nothing really I can think of right now. I'm just working, man, grinding, taking care of the fam, all this, and man, just kind of doing that. I stepped away from coaching for a little bit, but I think I'm getting back into it a little bit later on with some other projects I'm trying to get off the ground right now. So I do like working with youth and coaching and stuff like that. A lot of fun. Offensive line, that's our thing, man. I think it's only linemen who can really appreciate like offensive line stuff. But I watch the football games. I watch the offense. I watch the trenches. I don't watch anything else.
Right? Like I'm like, ooh, left guard got beat. Ooh, bad. Like, what you doing?
The protection, what was guy thinking, man? Nah, that sack was on the back. Like I probably really annoying the people who watch the game, like talking about the protections. We don't care about protections. Who busted the protection?
Look, the funny part is I'll be sitting out in public watching the game and I'll be like, bad play. The minute it come off, I'll see somebody laid off the ball, bad play. Then someone, how did you know that? Long story. And if I make you watch that offensive lineman, you're gonna get mad. Like you're gonna get mad. You ain't gonna want to watch the game. You ain't gonna be following the ball no more. Like, but again, it definitely makes you appreciate the game, man. And, you know, I like when guys, you know, do get back into coaching, man. I love it, man. It's a crime, but I love it just because a lot of the perseverance story that we have, I try and gift it to the next generation so that they ain't got to go through the same problems and mistakes, but they can go and see each other better, man. So whether you get back into it or not, man, just keep on giving the game to the next group, man, and most importantly, you know, you keep on being a great dad, great husband, brother. So
trying my best, man. Trying my best.
Man, so that's a wrap tonight, man, on Trench Talk Live. Can't thank my brother Josiah St. enough for bringing nothing but truth, realness to the mic tonight. Again, until next week, stay locked there, stay low, live in the trenches, man. This is Trench Talk Live. Appreciate y'all. Another week. Stay tuned. Look for us for next week.
TC3, we in the trenches.
Trench Talk Live, we keep it real. Breaking down the game, giving out the deal. NCAA, we talking skills. From the grind to the shine, we getting thrills.
Let's go.
Lights on, mic check, time to go live. Game talk, real talk, straight from the grind. Recruitment, NIL, we cover it all. From the field to the books, we never gon' stall. Trench Talk Live, we keep it real. Breaking down the game, giving out the deal. NCAA, we talking skills. From the grind to the shine, we getting thrills.
Let's go.